Amid the challenges and triumphs across the country, Democrats, they are obsessed with a pool that actually reflects a lot more than the Washington Monument. Tonight, it serves as a reflection into the lack of a soul of a party, the Democratic Party, driven by nothing but hatred and rage for all things Donald Trump. They are rooting for his failure. And in this case, they're even rooting for algae. Now, there have been, pro-algae protests around the reflecting pool. And according to reports, the so-called demonstrators are even harassing members of the National Guard who are on site because of the near constant vandalism from left-wing activists now during and after the renovation. Now, this includes the threatening phrase 8647 spray painted on the, concrete base of the pool, along with other structural damage. And The View's Whoopi Goldberg, that hard-hitting news show on ABC, she thinks this is just one big moment of entertainment. But there's a catch on the other side of this about Barack Obama. Take a look.
But he is claiming that vandals are to blame. He says they illegally placed chemicals in the water and left a 300-foot gash in the pool. Now, 5 people are said to have been arrested. He says a 10-year prison sentence will be strictly enforced.
Oh.
Well, if he's saying he's going to jail for 10 years, I'm going to let him go. It seems to me that had he not messed with the pool, it would still be a reflecting pool instead of a liquid jungle.
All right, we're getting to the best part. Now, of course, there's been never-ending coverage from the legacy media mob about the state of water in the pool. Camera crews on site from nearly every network. Water samples, expert interviews, in-depth coverage every second of every day. So-called journalists, Democrats have whined in unison about the cost of this project, seemingly forgetting this very one important part. We had a president. His name was Barack Hussein Obama. He conducted a renovation of that reflecting pool. He did it in 2012 at roughly double the cost. And the result of Obama's $34 million 2-year project, a reflecting pool that continued to leak and a massive algae problem that he had. In fact, the pool remained in a sad state until President Trump started his own renovation. But according to failed Minnesota Governor Tampon Tim Walz, quote, the administration found an imaginary problem, said only they could fix it, didn't listen to the experts, hired buddies who grifted millions, failed miserably, and bragged how great it went. None of that's true, but coming from Tim Walz, who seems to care very little about the truth, and that's the same governor that presided over the single worst tax fraud crisis in the history of the state of Minnesota, hasn't shown a lot of concern about fiscal responsibility. Now, sadly, this obsession over the reflecting pool extends well beyond a hatred for President Trump. Many on the left, they just hate America. How many times have I said, if the dog bites, the bee stings, if you're feeling sad, blame Trump. If Trump cures cancer, they'd find a reason to hate him. Take a look.
Akila, your predictions.
Okay, so I have quite a few, but I think that this is a long-term one. I don't know if we'll be around to see the results, but I don't think America's making it to 500 if we're on the same trajectory.
Oh.
250 was a stretch.
No, don't say that.
I don't see it happening. They're destroying education.
Say more, say more.
History. Right. I mean, I think that, we have a concerted effort from the current administration to forget about history, to, sort of destroy public education, to destroy public works, to privatize everything.
One of the hallmarks of the modern Democratic Party is nothing but an utter contempt for America and Americans. Now, even multimillionaire former MSDNC host, listen to this, Joy Reid said, the 4th of July is not something to celebrate. Okay, take a look.
It is Independence Day. Everybody's barbecuing. It's a thing. I can promise you, Black folks, we will take that day off. We will barbecue because we off. But Black people, that nobody Black I know is really excited about the 4th of July because it is what Frederick Douglass said it is. It is the celebration of slaveholders who freed themselves from having to pay taxes to the crown for their slave empire. And that is what it is.
And she also said she would never vote for any Democrat that supports the state of Israel. Wow. Take a look.
The Democratic Party is as married to this Israel over everything, Israel no matter what, Israel no matter what they do, no matter how many people they kill. The Democrats are as married to that as the Republicans. And so it would take a really strong Democrat. It would take a Mamdani-style event to get a Democrat to say that they weren't getting down with that. But to me, I, going forward, cannot vote for a Democrat who does not pledge to end this relationship. This relationship needs to end.
Now, these are not isolated feelings. According to a new poll, very few Democrats are proud of their country, 29%, while the party's base obsessively hates Israel. And now most Democrats seemingly want to transform our great country into a communist, socialist hellhole. What does that mean for America moving forward? All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.